What's up, Snor the crew? It's yours truly, Snor. Right now, we're gonna get into that. The story of the real 50 Cent. I hadn't heard this claim that it's 50 Cent, the guy we all know, Curtis Jackson, then borrowed his name from somebody else. Really made it grow. But that's neither here nor there. But I always, heard a mention of it, but never caught the story. It's me doing the same, me doing that right here. If you like the video, go ahead and, what I'm saying, give me a like, watch all the way to the end, you know what the hell going on. This second channel video too, though, I'm really trying to get active over there, so if coming over for the main channel, make sure you turn on the notifications over here. Yeah.
Page TV. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell. This is the story of the real 50 Cent. Kelvin Darnell Martin was born on July 24th, 1964 in the South Bronx, New York City. His childhood nickname was Lil Shaft. When Martin was 8 years old, his parents separated, and according to relatives, his mother pinned a note to his shirt, placed him on a bus, and sent him to live with his grandmother. While a teenager, Martin was displaced yet again when the family left the Bronx permanently and moved into the subsidized housing in the borough of Brooklyn. Martin would call Unit
about 14, he shit upward. No, he maybe this how he wording the story. Maybe it ain't that bad, but hell, shit, it sound like shit wasn't stable. Sound like shit wasn't stable nor safe. Shit.
11H
he out in the
Building
streets.
A in the Monument Walk section of the Raymond V. Ingersoll houses, his new home. Not long after, he was introduced to Islam by the way of the 5% Nation and adopted the name Shamik. Martin's criminal activities as a teenager earned him a stint at Rikers Island in the C-74 Juvenile Detention Center, where he would meet other future career criminals, such as convicted drug trafficker James Jimmy Henchman Roseman. After his release and return to Brooklyn, Martin is said to have aligned himself with the Supreme Team Street Gang, based in Fort Greene, not to be confused with the Jamaica Queens-based drug organization.
Okay.
It was around this time that Martin obtained the nickname
I was surely confused. I ain't gonna lie to you, big brother.
Cent. There's some dispute as to how he acquired the name. Some attribute the name to his greed, attesting to the idea that he would rob someone for any amount of money, no matter how little the sum. One rumor has it that Martin entered a dice game with only 50 cent stake and ultimately walked away with $500. Still others believe the name to be an illusion because he was so small and his slight frame. Martin was known to be armed at all times with his favorite long barrel handguns, a Colt 45 and a .357 Magnum. Martin
They said Colt 45? And he'll put that iron on anybody but a dead body. He'll fuck around put that iron on a dead body. Now I'm just sitting here, grasping all the information. And then if you know anything about a goddamn Colt 45 bullet, that bitch about this long. It's like right under the 50 Magnum. Go look up the 50 cal Magnum bullet. It's like right under that motherfucker. 500. There we go. 500. Yeah, Smith & Wesson motherfucker. That it's right under that bitch. Yeah.
Declined to become a drug dealer in the then relatively new crack cocaine trade, instead preferring to obtain money through strong arm robbery. He would soon go on to assemble the collective known as the Brooklyn Zoo, a group of teens who reportedly target blue-collar workers, college students, liquor stores, pimps, and especially intoxicated club patrons for robbery. They collected cash from fencing designer purses and gold chains stolen from partygoers at the Latin Quarter Harlem World and the Roxy nightclubs in Manhattan. They were also known to have preyed on customers and event attendees at the Brooklyn Armory, the Empire Skating Rink, and the Albee Square Mall in Brooklyn. Martin is said to have attended Rick James' concert at the Meadowlands Concert Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, just so that he could rob other fans in attendance. Martin would gain rights.
And you know what? Back in them times, that shit was, well, I feel like it ain't changed, but like it was more of a thing. Like it's more calculated. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll sit outside bars. They'll sit outside the bars. Whoever come out the drunkest. Whoever come out looking the drunkest. Easy lick. Got him. I seen it on what movie was that? It was a movie I just recently watched. It was a little older movie. And shit. Damn, what's that? George Foreman. It wasn't an older movie. It was the George Foreman motherfuckers. You seen that? They was sitting outside the damn bar and goddamn, boy, George Foreman with his big motherfucker. Little dude pointed at him. George Foreman goddamn got him together, but they got caught in the sting like that. Like that was that whole little get up.
Spread notoriety after robbing several members of the hip hop industry. His victims included members of the rap group Houdini and a teenage LL Cool J.
Them niggas do look robbable though. Like for real though, like he tall as hell. They both tall as fuck.
J. Reportedly, Martin approached LL in the park.
He look robbable too. He look robbable too. He too cool for school. He too cool for school. He ain't trying to get dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like he too cool for school. He look robbable too.
Parking lot of a White Castle in Brooklyn and took the young star's solid gold rope chain at gunpoint. According to locals, Martin also had a violent run-in with Jam Master Jay of Run DMC. A confrontation between his Brooklyn Zoo crew and Jay resulted in a shootout between Martin's group and the Hollis crew, a stick-up gang from Jay's neighborhood. Martin's association with rappers wasn't always criminal or even hostile. Eric Berry of Eric B. and Rakim was a friend of Martin. The two developed a friendship in 1986 and became so close that Martin became a member of the Paid in Full posse. Martin was featured in a photo with other members of the Paid in Full posse, alongside the rap duo and other rappers and criminals on the back of Eric B. and Rakim's debut album, Paid in Full. Its title song ironically recounts the lifestyle.
Okay, they were the criminals. Yeah, the nigga down here. Yeah, these niggas down here, they were criminals. I'm like, everybody up there, it's too much teeth getting shown. You know what I'm saying? It's too much
Martin
teeth getting shown up
Rakim
top.
Avoided by pursuing a hip-hop career. Martin's main robbery targets were allegedly drug dealers and their stash houses. His skill set expanded to include kidnapping and extortion as well. Martin would offer protection against robberies, violence, vandalism, and other forms of assault to local store owners and drug dealers. Those who turned down this agreement would find themselves victims of assaults, which were perpetrated by Martin himself. Martin's robbery and extortion proceeds afforded him a place of distinction as the owner of a custom gold-colored Volkswagen.
And then this nigga just called them proceeds. Like it was like a donation foundation or something. I'm blue.
Volkswagen Jetta. Martin's penchant for carrying out his assaults without attempting to conceal his identity gained him several enemies. In addition to being stabbed numerous times, it's estimated that Martin was shot at least 24 times in 9 separate incidents. Despite having never been indicted for murder, he is also believed to have at least 30 bodies. Because people were trying to kill him, Martin decided to enlist into the army. Eventually, he
30 on the alleged. It's like 5 real ones. 5 real ones and 2 possibles. 30 allegedlys is like that. That's the real math on that. Hell, I do him even better. I do him one better. It's like 3 real ones and 2 possibles, for real. It's like divide by 10 type shit. Cause, you know, but yeah. Who the fuck is this nigga?
He was given an honorable discharge and sent back from Georgia to New York to face robbery charges after an NYPD detective came down and arrested him at Fort Benning. Upon his return to New York, Martin would move into his girlfriend Precious's apartment in the Albany Houses housing projects located in Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. Shortly after the move, Martin was shot while shopping at the mall and as a result, took to wearing bulletproof vests. He was shot on October 20th, 1987 on the stairwell of his girlfriend's project building in the Albany Houses and died from hemorrhaging in Kings County Hospital 4 days later. He was 23 years old. Paid in Full was released 3 months earlier on July 7th, 1987. A former associate known as Wemo was convicted of first-degree manslaughter and sentenced to a minimum of 8 years in prison for Martin's killing. Wemo maintained that he was coerced into committing the killing by enemies of Martin who kidnapped a close family member.
That's crazy. Dude only made 23, bro. Dude only made 23 though. But listen to what just listen to what's been said already. At an early age, dude didn't have nothing stable. I called it out. I said maybe it wasn't as bad as he just worded it, But what it sounds like, shit was unstable, unsafe, and all unsecure, all that shit. So in turns, he relied on the streets to eat. He said about 14 years old, wasn't it? Wasn't it 14? I really don't want to go back skimming through to see the right age, but it was a young age, right? So he was doing that 10 years. Shit. Let's just show you how accelerated a street life is. In them 10 years, that nigga probably did so much shit that the average 23-year-old wouldn't even fathom of doing. It said this nigga rumored 30 bodies, robbed every nigga in New York that sold dope, bitches, and went to the fucking army. Like, they don't sound like a fucking, like, not to, keep harping over the bad shit of the nigga life, but that's all that was presented, and that's all I fucking know. But anyway, nigga done lived a hell of a life. Hell of a life. All before 23. Let's keep on listening, though.
And threatened to murder both Wemo and his family if he refused. The then 18-year-old Wemo, a member of Martin's crew, is reported to have come by the
That nigga was 18. He looked 40 right there with that fucking go-to.
13th floor apartment before leaving with Martin around 10 p.m. 50 apparently felt secure enough with Wemo that he chose not to wear his bulletproof vest. 50 was found later that evening on the 7th floor landing, bleeding from wounds to the head, chest, and stomach. Despite all the considerable wealth that 50 made from his criminal exploits during his life, his family was only given his gold teeth upon his death. According to relatives, his safety deposit box and usual stash spots were found completely empty after his demise. Martin's body was sent from Brooklyn to Staten Island, and he was entered into a mass grave with 4 other people. Initially, Wemo was convicted of murder, but his conviction was overturned when...
What? Just off of way shit was sounding? That might have been a whole little setup. Nigga, the stash spots are dry. Now, if shit happening, stash spots ain't dry. Then it was just like, shit happened type shit. Not this, desensitize his death and shit, but just follow along. Motherfuckers was plotting on him. They was plotting on him. Ain't no ends buts about it. Off the strength of the stash, or a motherfucker that's been just peeping the behind the scene, like just peeping shit. Been waiting for that exact fucking moment. That's crazy. And it's probably the closest person to him.
When a corroborating witness supported his claim of being coerced into killing Martin, he accepted a manslaughter conviction and was awarded a sentence of time served based on the informant's testimony. During his time on the street, Martin is said to have served as a mentor to Brooklyn gangster Calvin Klein, who was rumored to have inspired some of the lyrics of the then aspiring rapper Jay-Z. After his death, Martin served as an inspiration to Queens, New York native and rap superstar Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who adopted his moniker in an effort to solidify his street credibility. Initially, Martin was buried without a tombstone, but according to family members, Jackson volunteered to finance one as a token of respect and appreciation for Martin's legacy. Martin garnered a reputation for not running away from his robbery scenes. He was said to have never gotten into a getaway vehicle. And I ask you, in the case of 50 Cent, does crime pay?
Man, I will say this that was a very interesting story. It's a true story too, but it was a very interesting story, and it also displays a lot of things that's that a certain lifestyle was gonna bring you, bro. It displays what a certain lifestyle is gonna bring you. Because in them 23 years of life that, that man had, he ain't seen, allegedly, did some stuff, right? Took everybody things in the city. I don't know if it said if he had any kids, but did all the street things you can imagine. Went to the army and shit. Bro, that street life was just like an accelerated life program. It's like life on fast forward or something. And a lot of people miss out on decent childhood moments off of how life is going and shit at home and shit. I'll leave out with this though. I'll leave out with this. Be yourself and like don't force nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you truly ain't gotta go do no stupid shit to kinda get your bread and don't do this shit. Don't do this shit. I just leave out with that one, bro. Because bro, it's a lot of motherfuckers in jail for a long time off of them being thirsty for a lick or something, and a lick ain't worth the amount of time you just wasted. Or hell, you might end up, losing your whole life off of something that's really meaningless. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's your boy Snor. I'm gone, man.